Hey guys, this is Thomas from Camelot, and you're watching CMS TV.
That's Bombay Black right here on your classic metal show. That's something from their latest release called Psycho Magnet, and the name of that tune there is called Head Full of Hate. And Chris, believe it or not, if you had a drum roll ready, I'd tell you who we had on the line with us. There you go. We have the one and only Eric Johnson on the show.
The guitar virtuoso guy? The G3 guy?
Yeah, that's him. No, it's not him. It's his imposter.
Sorry.
It's the Eric Johnson that's a member of Bombay Black. And
I'm not the Eric Johnson, just a Eric Johnson.
Right, and we want to welcome him back to the Classic Metal Show. So, how you doing there, Eric?
Beautifully. How are you guys been?
We're good. We're good. We're glad to see that Bombay Black is still out there doing what they do. You're not a flash in the pan, a one-and-done type of band. This is your third release now?
This will be our fourth.
Your fourth.
Third studio release, but our fourth actual release.
All right. Well, hey, correct me if I'm wrong, and you did. This is your third studio release, Psycho Magnet, and you got to work with a big-time producer this time.
Yeah, we got lucky on this one. Actually, he got in touch with us, strangely enough, through MySpace, which, God, the ultimate indispensable tool of musicians in the 21st century. But he'd emailed us and said, hey, guys, you sound really good. I'd, really like to, maybe do a couple of remixes for you. And I'm like, well, screw that. Why don't he just do a whole record with us? Let's take the opportunity and make use of the opportunity being presented. So we went and talked to Darth Kibble over at the Evil Kibble Empire. That's Kibble Records, by the way, in case you guys are just now tuning in.
And you are talking about award-winning producer Bo Hill as well.
Yeah. And we talked to John, like, John, Bo wants to do a record. And he's like, fine, make me an album. Right now he's listening and laughing his ass off. It's great. So anyway, we called Bo. We set everything up. He flew down to Little Rock to catch one of our shows and hung out at our studio for a while. And we talked shop and threw some ideas around. And pretty much we cut everything in our studio. And then we'd send it to him, and he'd say, hey, this is cool, or let's try this, or whatnot. There's really not a whole lot of changes on his end of things. We pretty much, what you hear is what we came up with first go around, generally speaking. So we got it done. He did the mixing and mastering, and now it's out.
Very cool, man. Well, Eric, obviously, man, Psycho Magnet is, at least in my ears, and tell me if I'm wrong, but it seems like it's a little bit of a departure from what you guys were doing in the past. Seemed like the previous albums had a little bit more of the 80s tinge to it, where now you guys are just really becoming more of a straight-ahead metal band. Is that how you guys see it?
God, I hope so. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love my '80s. I grew up on that, but I don't want to get. I'm trying not to have us pigeonholed into they're just trying to copy the old '80s vibe. I don't want to be another Darkness. I don't want to have one record and nobody cares anymore. So I definitely want to stretch that way. I know that our guitar player and drummer Jim and Rob are both old school metalheads from back in the day. In fact, sometimes we have to beat Jim with a boat paddle because he'll start copping dime bag licks right in the middle of practice. And I know it would make him a lot happier if we went that direction. And I think eventually we'll be there, but my voice can't hold up to that kind of abuse. So it's still got to be on the melodic end of things.
And that's the one thing about this record. While you guys did seem to heavy it up a little bit, you didn't do so in the way that most bands do, where you started growling and started importing a bunch of down-tuned D riffs instead of actually still playing. You just took the songs and made them a little bit heavier.
Yeah, and that really was the whole idea. I don't want to have to learn how to play a 7-string if I can avoid it, just because I'm set in my ways. I'm old and stodgy, but just the challenge also of learning to transpose all that stuff to make it sound heavy, but playing it in different positions instead of just taking the obvious way out and retuning everything. I thought that was just fun for us to try and pull that off. And the whole growling thing, I mean, if we started doing that, everybody does that. It's been there, done that, it's over. For me,
Sure.
It's just not a way I want to go. Plus, I do a lot of freelance voice work, and if I spend, shows just, I mean, I'm not going to make any more money. No one's going to hire me after that. So I got to take care of my voice as best as I can.
Right. Well, dude, with Psycho Magnet and with the other records, the one consistent thread is that you guys, and I'm assuming it's you, because I'm assuming you write most of the lyrics. You can't find a relationship that works to save your life, man. Every single record is about awful relationships.
But it makes for good music.
Yeah, good point.
That's an important thing. No, I mean, Psycho Magnet still is along that trend, but we have our first semi-hopeful ballad with If Only on that album. I mean, there's that one, which has kind of a wistful tinge, but it's not totally a downer. We have Knock You Down, which I was, watching Brittany watch, and it just, I don't know, it hit me all of a sudden. I don't know how it happened, but 10 minutes later the song was written. Beats me. We actually have our first party song on this record about the Shag Palace nearby where we live. We used to record there, and then we moved out to another place, but we still party there. It's a dry county, so we all bring liquor and, hot tub, disco ball, double-decker couches, full bar, and this is just a living room. It's like the ultimate bachelor pad, so it's a very happy place, and a lot of quasi-illegal things go on there. It's beautiful. You guys should come by sometime.
Sure. Well, we'd love to, especially if we
Lots
could.
of female nudity.
Well, we're all about the nudity.
It's beautiful. Hey, it's a two-college town. What do you expect?
Right. Absolutely. So we had Beau Hill on the show here on the Classic Metal Show a couple of months ago, and he was quite a pleasant interview, and he was actually flattered that somebody asked to interview him. And now you said you recorded your stuff in your studio there and sent it to Beau, so you didn't work with him directly, or he worked with your tracks, or how did that work out?
Well, what we would do is we would record the basic ideas. We'd send it off to him, because really a producer's role is not always physically there. I mean, you look at Bob Rock, you have your producer, and then you have your engineer. The engineer is the guy who sits down and gets the sounds, and he's the one who does all the legwork. The producer's saying, okay, well, let's throw a AKG 41 on the kick, and let's throw an SM57 on the snare, and try playing it this way, or why don't you try throwing some pillows in there? He's kind of the director where he's saying what to do and he's supervising the thing, and then the engineer is the one who actually does the work. And that's how we did that. And him and Ty had a lot of time to talk and swap notes and compare mics and everything else. So, I mean, that's how that came together.
Right.
Hey, metalheads! Tired of waiting for new episodes? Crave the real, raw Classic Metal Show? For just $4.99 a month, you can become a CMS VIP. You get every episode a full week early, completely uncensored, and 100% commercial-free. It's the only place to interact directly with the show, plus you score the Fast Pass, so your song requests get bumped straight to the head of the line on every live version. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe right now at classicmetalshow.locals.com and become a CMS VIP today.
Well, in the past we've talked to, the way that Beau was describing it, and a lot of the bands have describing it. We speak with Stephen Piercy quite often, and he gave us his lowdown about working with Beau in the past. And he said that Beau almost became the sixth member of Rat with as much input and direction as he had with the Rat sound and the Rat image and whatever. So I was wondering if he did the same thing for recording this new Bombay Black release.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just when he came in, we had a totally different setup as far as how we used our monitors, how we mic'd certain things, what mics we used, different techniques that we had never even thought about before. And he came and said, well, have you guys tried this? And I mean, and again, it was the same old thing. You know, he's saying, hey, try this, throw this in here. See if you can mix these two things together. See how that sounds. Go for this tone and that kind of thing. And it was really, you know, literally it was directing us toward a final mix that he had in his head for us.
So the end result, are you happy with it? Is this the best end result that you were expecting, or did it turn out better than you had hoped, or what?
I honestly did not have any preconceived notions because I didn't want to have it built up in my head one way and then see it go another and go, you know, it's like, you know, the new Indiana Jones movie. I went in there thinking it was going to be one thing, and it went totally off kilter on something else. So when it came to this, I pretty much just sat back and said, you know, Bo's going to do his thing, and I'll unplug my brain and enjoy it for what it is, and it turned out fantastic. I was thinking, okay, it's going to be better than before, but I love it, absolutely love it.
Well, Eric, you know, with the new record, the one thing I noticed on Psycho Magnet is you guys, specifically yourself and Ty and what's your drummer's name? It's
Rob.
Escaping. And Rob and Ty especially are much bigger in the mix, and your guitars are definitely very loud and very boisterous. I'm curious, when you're working on a project with this and you're working with a producer like that, do you go out and you know, look for different gear, or does a guy like Bo and yourselves just find new ways to present the sound that you capture from the gear that you had?
Really, I think it's more the latter. I think it's merely just taking what we have to work with and just looking at it in different ways. I mean, we had very set ideas. You know, you take this mic, you set it up in this position, and there's your sound. Where Bo was coming in and saying, well, try this mic, but set it at this angle or put it at this distance. I mean, there's so many different tricks to getting the sound. Part of recording drums in particular, it's an art. It's not a science, it's an art. And
right.
What may look great on paper theoretically may not work. You know, the end result is what comes out of those speakers.
Sure.
You know, and you try some different stuff, and somehow it works. You're standing back going, I don't know why it works, but it works. So.
Right. Now I'll be the first one to admit to you, Eric, I'm not, you know, a musician that can listen to something and tell, you know, what kind of tone you get or if you play with a certain kind of feeling or whatnot. But I was actually talking to the guys in Ronin, and they were really conscious about telling me how they were using like astronomy heads to get a bigger sound than they were getting in the past. And, you know, production with, I believe they worked with Black Metal Ray on their production, but overall, what they were trying to say is they did experiment with some different gear just to capture different sounds, you know, Strigal pedals and astronomy heads and stuff. Did you guys ever consider maybe going out and trying different gear just to get different sounds, or is that maybe something that comes with a bigger budget?
You know, I think we at one point thought about that. I know I thought, hey, you know, I should go pick up a Mesa or just something to, you know, just something else to throw in the mix. But I think at the end of the day, we all agreed that it would be better to work with what we have, not just from the financial standpoint, but now that we had Bo, a guy who's had the experience and the knowledge to be able to take what we have and see how far we can push it. Sure. And that way, on the next album, yeah, I'm already looking at investing in a few different pieces of gear just to bring something new to the table every time we sit down to start tracking a new record. That way, I always want to build on the next one. Always have something new that we didn't have before.
Well, Eric, everybody knows who are big fans of hard rock, especially 80s hard rock, knows that Bo Hill worked most notably with Rat and Warrant. He obviously was within your price range, huh?
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Did you guys have to go get day jobs to, you know, pay his bill or what?
Not really. I mean, it was really a partnership with the label. That
okay.
I think the label was really concerned that these guys really want to do that, and you know, we stood up and said, "Hell yeah, we do." I can say that, right? Yeah, it's okay. You know, but we said, yeah, you know, we put up and they ponied up as well, and we went after Bo, no problem.
Sure. Well, your label boss there, John Kivel, where's he been hiding? We haven't heard or seen from him in at least a year.
I don't know. He calls me about 2 or 3 times a week.
Maybe he doesn't
Always,
like us.
2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah, he doesn't. I guess he doesn't like us anymore.
I don't know. I could use a break. Do you want me to tell him to call you?
Well, he just seemed to have disappeared off the map there, and both Chris and I were actually talking about him on the show a couple of weeks ago, saying we hadn't seen or heard from him in at least a year, and we were just wondering what happened to him. So I'm glad to hear he's alive and well.
He's been pretty busy lately.
Right.
I mean, he's really been trucking it. He's got several releases coming up, a couple of which we're working on. Now that we got finished with ours, we're playing shows here and there, and then we're also handling a few of his new acts that he's got in. We're remixing some bands, one from Norway called Fate Circus, that they just sent their stuff over, and we're just, Ty's having his way with it, and it's sounding fantastic.
Cool.
But he's got about 3 or 4 releases before the end of the year that are all coming out. So he's really trying to stay on top of that and make sure the deadlines get met and the artwork and everything else. He's a busy guy.
Sure. Well, Eric, Bombay Black, the one thing that I have noticed about the band, while, the U.S. market pretty much stays fickle to you guys, it really seems like you guys have, built a very solid following outside of the U.S. I understand you guys basically dominated when you went over to the U.K. How was that?
That was a lot of fun. It was, it's always cool to be able to go to another country and play for people you've never met, because the nice thing, we play around here, I see a lot of the same faces. I prefer to play for new faces I haven't seen before, plus you get to play with other bands, you sample the cultures, you sample the beer, especially if you're our guitar player, you sample the beer. And just being able to play for these guys and try to present something different. The one thing I noticed with a lot of the bands that play these kinds of things is that, this is going to sound bad, I don't mean it like that, but it's like there's a set formula. Okay, you've got your guitar player here, and he plays in this little box, and you've got your keyboards here, and everybody kind of has their location on stage. And, there's some people, there's a line you don't cross. We use that for a lap counter. You get up there, you raise hell. If you got to swing from the lights and throw confetti at people to get their attention. I smashed my guitar last time, which was definitely brought down the house. They loved that. And it's currently hanging up at the venue now, which is pretty cool. But, it's just, you get up, you put on a show. And that's really the thing. And I think in a lot of ways, people don't expect you to go demolishing your gear or breathing fire or whatever it is you do. So it's kind of fun to see their faces, and we come over and we're just 4 rednecks, and we'll destroy the stage if you give us a chance.
Very nice. Is it disappointing when you come back here after playing in front of, from what I've heard anyway, and I've seen shows outside the country, and it's just such a different vibe, man. You go over there and people are thirsty for metal and hard rock, and then you come back here. And outside of your hometown, you travel 100 miles in any direction, and you're fighting to get 50 people to give you a chance, man. Is it disappointing, I guess is the word, to come back to the U.S. and have to struggle when you know that you're creating good music?
At one point, it did get to me. It did bother me. There's the old saying, you get no respect in your hometown. And I think the whole reason for that was just when the dominant music became hip hop, it was not just a change in music; it was a whole change in culture. Everything switched at that point. When you've got executives doing the fist tap and using all the crunk phrasing and everything else, things changed big. And I finally made my peace with it after a while. I said, you know what? We get up, we do what we do. If we blow something up in the process, so be it. The thing is, we always go out, put 120% of the show. At the end of the night, I'm happy. If we can get at least one more person there who's never seen us before and they become a fan, it's worth it.
Right, definitely. Now, with the U.S. shows, I understand you guys are playing one of the bigger rock fests that's going on here in the next month or so. Is that correct?
That is true. Dakota Rock Fest, which is the weekend of July 25th and 26th.
Okay, and how'd you guys end up on that one?
I have no idea. No. Now I got to think about it. Actually, it was John Kibble put that together for us. He had another one of his bands already on there, and I kind of was like, hey, you think you can get us on that? And he made some phone calls and played us for the guy, and the guy's like, well, you guys are coming in sort of last minute, but he heard the album. He said, okay, fine, you're in. Let's do it.
Well, John's an influential
definitely
guy
a vote
that
of
way.
confidence for us.
Well, John's a very influential guy that way, so it doesn't surprise me at all. He knows how to pull those strings.
Yeah.
Chirp, chirp, no comment. But all right, Eric.
I do not speak of the dark in those terms.
All right, Eric, why don't you give us the website there where people can find out about Bombay Black?
Best bet is www.myspace.com/BombayBlack.
All right, sounds good. And people can see you where this summer? Just that Rock Fest so far? No tour plans yet?
We will be at O'Reilly's in Dallas on July 5th. We'll be in Little Rock at the Warehouse with some other great local acts, Landmines and Wish Tribe, on July 12th. July 25th and 26th is Dakota Rock Fest, and then we'll be back in Little Rock at West End Smokehouse on August 2nd.
Excellent, excellent. All right, Eric, we appreciate you taking a little bit of time to talk to us here on the Classic Metal Show. Go visit Bombay Black at their MySpace, myspace.com/Bombay Black. Go pick up their new CD, which is entitled Psycho Magnet. Is that it there, Eric?
That's all for me. Hope y'all enjoy it and appreciate the time.
All right. Well, we always let the artist pick a closing song here, so why don't you pick a song off the new CD and maybe tell us a quick story about it?
Oh, I'd have to go with SFCR.
Okay.
SFCR stands for South Faulkner County Resistance, but we said blind because we couldn't make resistance rhyme. But basically, it's about our party house in Conway, and in particular, one little incident involving a guy, a girl playing strip pool, and then the sex that ensued afterward.
Excellent.
Which was caught on tape, still cameras. I think the guy sketched it out with pen and ink. I mean, it was happening. Let's remember the moment.
Right. All right.
And this is normal. This just happens there all the time. No big deal.
All right. Excellent, Eric. All right.
All
right. Well, go pick up the new Bombay Black Psycho Magnet, and this is FFCR exclusively here
on your Classic Metal Show.
Want to watch the Classic Metal Show on your big screen instead of your phone or computer? Now you can with the Rumble app. The Rumble app is available on most smart TVs and streaming devices. Just download the app, open it, and search for Classic Metal Show. You'll instantly get access to all the latest episodes on demand. Plus, catch the entire live broadcast every Saturday night and watch exclusive live-streamed events as they happen. Download the Rumble app today, search for Classic Metal Show, and subscribe now. The Classic Metal Show. Metal. Talk. Streaming live and on demand.